Hello, and welcome to Real Talk Conversations with Cancer Survivors. I'm Deneen Groves, and I want to thank you all for joining us for this powerful and deeply personal conversation. This series was created to shine a light on the real journeys of individuals who have faced cancer head on, people whose stories remind us of the strength of the human spirit, the importance of community, and the power of hope. So, as a survivor myself, I know firsthand that this journey isn't just about treatment. It's about resilience and faith and family and finding light, even in the darkest moments. That's why we're here to talk openly, honestly, and especially from the heart. So, tonight we'll hear stories that will inspire you, challenge you, and connect us. Whether you're a survivor, a caregiver, or simply someone who cares, I invite you to listen, share, and be a part of this important conversation. So let's get started. As you know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I've had my own personal journey with breast cancer. I'm a 2 year breast cancer survivor, and I must say that each person that is on this panel this evening have played an intricate part in my life during this time. So I want to take this time to introduce each person on our panel this evening, and I'm going to ask each one of them to um, just tell us a little bit about themselves before we begin to dive into some questions. So we're going to welcome our panel. So I'd like to welcome Miss Leah Gray. She is a two-time cancer survivor. So we want to welcome Leah to the panel.
Thank you so much for having me on, Deneen. I am honored.
And then I want to introduce Miss Tracy Bryce. She is a 22-year breast cancer survivor. Tracy?
Hi, Deneen, and all that are out there. Um, have a blessed evening. I hope you get something, some help out of this discussion.
Okay, and I'm sorry. Leah, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves, please? About yourself, please?
Well, as you said, I had breast cancer twice, once in 1995 and then again in 2022. And so I just want people to know that there's hope, I want to encourage people to get through the journey as, smoothly as possible, and that there is, recovery and new life on the other side if you create it. So thank you.
Thank you. And Tracy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself before I introduce our next group of people on the panel?
Been told I had cancer since then, um, but there is hope. Just trust God, and we grow through our challenges. So that's what we had to do, is keep the faith and keep our trust in God, and we can make it.
Thank you, Tracy. And I want to introduce Raymond and Lisa Carroll. Now, we have the husband and wife team on here because when I was going through, these two really helped me as well as helped it tremendously, helped us to navigate through some major situations. So, Ray and Lee, can you two introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourselves, please?
I'm Ray, and I'm honored to be here and open. I thought it was a phenomenal idea, this platform, especially for with couples like us who have to face this issue head on, and there's a chemistry to it that you guys will find within each other. But to be a blank canvas, I think, was the most important piece outside of being spiritually founded. And I'll let my wife elaborate.
Hi, my name is Lisa Carroll, and I am a 5 year breast cancer survivor. And when you're a married couple, like you never think about, the vows. You think about the vows, but when they start talking about through sickness and health, you just don't really realize how important of a factor that is until you or your partner are faced with the potentially, life threatening situation, that the bond that you have created, that has to be sustained more than ever. And that's why we're going to be here talking about how we managed to get through, staying that close, and honoring what we too have said in front of God and our families. So, yes.
The reason that I wanted to do this forum is because of community. So everyone on this panel, like I said before, we're an intricate part in helping me navigate through my breast cancer and through the challenges that come with it and all of that. Leah, let me ask you something. You being a two-time breast cancer survivor, um, did you struggle with when you got the second diagnosis? Was the struggle similar, or did it shock you?
It did shock me because I thought I knew a lot about it because I started studying. My gynecologist, not my oncologist, but my gynecologist told me when I was having an appointment, so your immune system was compromised, and I didn't actually. That I mean, it got my attention because my oncologist didn't tell me that. So I started studying. Why does your immune system get reduced? How does your immune system get challenged? So I've been studying a long time. So I learned a lot of things and I put a lot of things in place, but I became complacent over time. You get your health
Mm,
back and start making new plans. So I was surprised when it came back. Now, my first cancer in 95 was a lumpectomy with chemo, radiation, and surgery, just small surgery. This second time around, it was a double mastectomy, and it was a very
mm,
aggressive cancer. It was triple negative cancer, and it was growing very rapidly. So I was glad that it was a different kind of cancer because the fact that it was a different cancer meant that it wasn't systemic, like throughout my body. It wasn't the cancer that was
mhm,
recurring. So both
mhm,
times they eliminated the cancer. But yes, there was somewhat of a surprise. When you've been through it once, you kind of know what to expect and what questions to ask and what, and to follow directions and to gather your, best doctor team and gather your community support, whoever can support you. So I had a lot more tools and resources to work with the second time. But yes, it was a surprise because I thought, okay, we're done. Like I was 10 years, I was cleared. But I will tell you, lifestyle factors and taking care of yourself are critically important. So in the past, I motivated myself with fear and anxiety. I didn't realize how much of an impact stress has on reducing, impacting your immune system.
mhm.
And I had gotten better with that, but now it's an absolute focus. Now it's absolute, since the second time, there's no stone left unturned on how to modify my lifestyle to ensure that I don't get it again, and get rid of toxins. And the recovery was a tremendous battle this time. I'm not going to go any more now, but
Mhm.
I didn't think I was going to make it actually. So I just encourage people to look for all the resources that you know are solid to help you in all stages, and utilize what you can. But the attitude is at 90% of the battle. Seriously, we have to have faith and we have to just keep moving, follow directions, and communicate well with your doctors. It's critically important because they don't know if you don't tell them. Don't worry about it sounding like you're complaining. It doesn't matter. They need to
Mhm.
know they can't make adjustments. And at one point I told my oncologist I can't take anymore, like I can't. And so she modified it so that I could continue that path and stay on course. But really important to communicate with your docs.
Right. Okay. And Tracy, I have a question for you. Um, I I guess the word is grieve. Sometimes I grieve how I was before I had cancer because now my body is different. I'm not as vibrant and I'm slower and having different health challenges. How do you overcome that being a 22-year survivor? How- like when I say grieve in my past, I was able to get up and go and do and yada yada yada. But sometimes, not sometimes, cancer pretty much knocks you down. So after 22 years, how did you overcome that, or did you go through that process of grieving your past and being able to live where you are now? and live how you are living now. I'm sorry, I can't.
that I
Okay.
used to. I can't move around like I used to. Like cancer has actually affected other body symptoms, and it has caused me to have like even right now, and I still get brain fog. I still get the
Hmm.
brain fog. Um, I move a bit slower now,
Hmm.
but for the most part, I take one day at a time. I even wear this little chain that reminds me one day at a time. I
Hmm.
take one day at a time. I stay prayerful. I stay grateful to God for even allowing me to live through what I have been through the 22 years, because I was diagnosed with breast cancer after coming back from vacation, felt the lump, and let my husband feel a lump, and he said, "Oh God, you got to get that checked out." So I went to my family doctor, which felt the lump, but she said it's fatty tissue. Well, thank God I didn't
Mm.
listen to her, because wouldn't be here talking right now with you guys, because
Yeah.
by the time I went to, I already had an appointment with an oncologist due to some other health situation. So I kept that appointment. I went to the appointment, and sure enough, it was what I suspected. So it's always good to get a second, even a third, if necessary, opinion. So you're not alone in not being able to, like, grieve in the past part, because you're just not the same after cancer.
Hmm.
Nothing is the same after cancer. Even 1 month after I had was diagnosed with the breast cancer, I was diagnosed with a pulmonary embolism. Like I had blood clot in my lung.
Wow.
That was
Wow.
1 month after. And then a year following, in October '04, I started having numbness and paresthesias on my left side of my face. Went to neurologists. They did tests. They did MRI, CAT scan, and whatever it was. And so I'm at the pump. I'm at the gas station. At the pump, I get this call from my neurologist, and she said I had metastatic disease of the brain.
Mm.
And just like before my first initial diagnosis, I was shocked.
Hmm.
Got through that though. Then 2004, when I got the call, again, I was in shock and got upset, crying and all. But then I gathered myself together, remember what God brought me through before,
Hmm. Hmm.
because He is the great physician. And
Yes.
so I had the determination to trust God in His plan. And in other words, like, whose report will you believe? So I made up in my
Yeah.
mind that I was going to trust God. So anyway, I ended up in the hospital because I was getting worse.
Hmm.
And the doctors had even suspected that the cancer went to my bones. So they did other tests while I was in the hospital. And they did a bone scan. And I was in there, I think I went Sunday. So between Sunday and Wednesday, I got the report from the bone scan. And the nurse whispered in my ear, and she said, "Your bone scan is negative." And I was like, "Thank you, Jesus." And I had
Yes.
visitors in the room, and she said, "Shh," because she wasn't supposed to really tell me that. But anyway, after my visitors left, because I had also had a spinal tap, and it was so painful. It was so painful, like when the doctor sent my husband and daughter out the room because they were in there. And my husband was great, run in the room and tell the doctor to leave her alone because she'd been through so much, and that's how painful it was. And anyway, I went through it, and so by the time that Friday came, well, before the Friday came, that
Hmm.
Wednesday, after all my visitors left, it was just me and God. I got out of my bed, as painful as my head was, because I could barely lift my head above the pillow. I got out of that bed and started dancing and praising God.
And
And as
yeah,
I tell people, Don't wait till the battle is over to shout.
Shout
And
now.
that's this what I did. I
Ye-
shouted right then and there.
And that,
By the time
it,
that Friday got there, oh my God, I got the call from the same doctor. The same doctor who told me that the cancer had went to my brain, the same doctor said no cancer cells. Oh
wow.
God.
But
Do
and I'm
not
listening
wait
to
till the
you.
battle's over.
Shout now. And I'm listening to you, and just to let everyone know, Tracy lives her life. As you see her now, excited about God, knowing that God has healed her. This is Tracy all the time. And even when she was going through all her different situations, Tracy has always had a smile on her face, praising God. When you see her, you did not know that Tracy was going through. So, a lot of times, going through cancer, being able to go through it, it has something to do with your mindset as well, how you
Yes.
carry yourself, how you think about, and we're all believers here. We know that God is
Yes.
our healer, God is our deliverer, and just praying and reading his word and just stand before him, and knowing that
Yes.
he is a true healer and a true deliverer. And I'm just grateful and thankful for how God has just blessed each and every person on this panel. Now, I want to talk to
Yes.
Lisa and Ray, because my God, they got a story. Their journey is powerful, and I don't want to keep repeating it, but they tremendously helped
Thank you,
me and
Jesus.
Ed as husband and wife going through this situation, because we had no clue, because I was in total shock and we had no clue on what to do. And so I just want them to share some of their story with us, because they are powerful, encouraging, and just wonderful. So Lisa and Ray, just share a little bit about your story.
Well, first off, I had actually had a gynecologist appointment in January, and about it was about March. It was mid March, and it was like a weird thing. My husband was coming downstairs with my daughter. I think he was taking her to a soccer game, and he was like, just matter of factly, I think you might need to get checked out because I kind of felt a lump in your breast. Like, and he never says anything like that. And I'm like, that was weird, but I better get checked out. So I did. Um, we never even discussed which breast because I automatically assumed it was my right breast because I mean, excuse me. It was my left breast because I had already had a biopsy there before that,
Mm-hmm.
thought that that has to be it. So I'm calling him up and I'm like, yeah, everything is good. You know, they don't see any cancer. He was like, oh my God, I'm so glad because that right breast. I said the right breast. Like then I got very nervous, and then no sooner than I hung up with him, they came right in and said
Wow.
they wanted to do more tests. It was the
Mm-hmm.
right breast. And the woman that was doing my ultrasound, she was a doctor and she was looking at my ultrasound and she's not officially able to say anything because they have to go through the process of the biopsy, but she's been screening women long enough. She knew. Like she started tearing up right there while I was um in in the room with her on the table, and she said she was like that she was amazed that my husband was able to find it because it was like very very hard to detect it. And like I
Mm-hmm.
said, when I went to the gynecologist, it they had not found anything then. But calling him on the phone, I was nervous letting him know about the cancer, and it was like something like shifted in him. His whole
Mm.
demeanor and everything changed. It was just about, okay, this is happening. I'm fully on board. This is my wife, because first thing I'm thinking about is him and my children. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what is our life going to look like? How am I going to tell my children that this is happening, and us to tell them in a way that they know it's still okay. So
Yeah.
um, we had decided that we were not going to be ashamed, that we
Hmm.
were not going to hide this fact, that we were going to embrace the cancer and we were going to go through it together. Matter of fact, we talked together and he actually cut my hair um, because I knew that I was going to go through the process with the chemo and everything. And he cut my hair for me and we recorded it and our children were all around during that process. So we kept our children very, very involved in
Hmm.
the process that um, we were going through. Of course, we had so much super support from my mom and Bob Leroy, his parents, my job, my siblings. We just had an abundance of support, but there is nothing like the support of your spouse because
Yeah.
sometimes men waver when
Hmm.
wife isn't all well and the wife isn't the way that she was and she's not feeling the way that she normally felt or she doesn't no longer look the way she looked prior to the cancer. um some men are not up to the challenge,
Hmm.
but this man right here, like he doesn't understand how much of a hero that he is to me and my lifesaver and my life because
Well,
he'll tell you how intricate the part that he had, involving us through the cancer. Because it wasn't always easy.
yeah.
I don't think that our road was easy because it wasn't. It was very challenging, but we were determined that
Yes.
we were going to fight this together. It was never going to be a separation.
Well, let me ask Ray something because Ray, Lee, you and Ray, y'all kind of coach me because I'm one who wants to do it all. I don't need your help. I'm fine. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
sick, but leave me alone. I don't need your help. Ed and literally had to finally say, sit down and let me do it. And I struggled with that. I struggled with letting people take care of me. But Ray, I need you to talk about, share with us or give us some insight on all that you did, and insight on how the spouse or the husband can be an integral part in helping his wife through breast cancer, through the situation.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Believe it or not, a lot of what we learned, we didn't have a template.
No.
It was trial and error.
Mhm.
And like Lisa says, it wasn't always easy. For me, it felt easy because at the minute that I knew that we were being faced with this spiritual enemy, I was able to identify with our spirits and who we are and what we're founded in. And I immediately was a security guard of the fortress of her mind. Wanted to make
That's
sure
good.
that nothing could come into her space outside of affirmation and encouragement and reassurance of what God we serve. And
Yeah.
I had to, there's a balance to that I wasn't aware of. There's a responsibility that comes with spiritual awareness that I wasn't aware of because all I knew was one pace. This is here, it's versus us. We know the Most High is where we are, we're going to obliterate it. But there's a balance because there's other folks who are very important to the lives of the person that you love. They love them too. And they may
Wow.
not be where you are spiritually. So for me to just come haphazardly and not haphazardly, but without consciousness of their feelings, their energy, emotion, come with what I'm saying as this is law, this is how we're going to operate. That's not healthy either. So I learned through
Hmm.
trial and error that to be gung ho about it, there's a there's a responsibility that comes with this information and knowledge that our God has given us that we must place it appropriately and at the appropriate times as to not damage relationships that are, founded in love.
And you know what? Support is so very key in all of
Yes.
this. Tracy, I know that Rick was a great support to you. Leah, I know you had your whole support team. Support is very key. And this is what is on my heart right now when we say community. Um,
Yes.
Talking about cancer used to be such a taboo.
Yep.
And People were actually afraid to let other people know that they were going through it. People were ashamed of it. But we have to have that support. We have that community. We have to have those people that we can talk to, not just our doctors, not just our nurse practitioners, but our close family, our close friends. We need that support to survive.
Yes.
We know that our Heavenly Father, we have Him to survive. But here on earth,
Yep.
we also need that support to survive. Um, Leah,
Interesting.
I want to talk about your personal growth. Like, how are you managing your present lifestyles, and what kind of hope can you give to people who are going through cancer right now? I've had two of my close friends just call me this week informing me that they have breast cancer. And what kind of hope can we give those who are struggling through cancer now?
So I think it's really
That was a
important.
twofold question. I'm sorry.
So I'll start with the hope piece because that's really important. So I think it's really important not to let fear take over. And if you have a good, strong faith with your heavenly Father, whoever your God is, you really have to draw on that. And I think it was so wise what he was saying about being conscious and present about how you express that. But that is a critical piece, and that's been a critical piece in my continuing to thrive afterwards, because it is, things are changed, and I think they're changed for a good reason. We're supposed to reevaluate. It's a life threatening situation, so you can't go through if you go through something like that and you don't make changes, you're in denial.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
for me, just speaking for
Yeah.
me, but you have to, because you are changed. So we actually then, though, get to decide what's important to us and what we
Hmm.
want to do differently and how we want our life to really look in the future going forward, and
Hmm.
what's important from a standpoint to us from family and community and those kinds of things. I didn't really have support from my husband. I had
Hmm.
support from good close friends, girlfriends, and I don't have a lot of girlfriends, but my church was really important this time around.
Hmm.
People were praying for me, and I am so grateful. And I know prayer makes a difference, and I
Hmm.
think it's really important not to let fear take over. You're going to have that initial shock; it's inevitable, and you're
Yeah.
going to have a grieving process too, both
Yeah.
for the process of it, and also on the other side, you aren't the same person, but you can do completely new and different things if
Hmm.
you reinvent yourself to who you want to be going forward.
Yeah.
So I want to give people hope that you can do that, and not just from a physical standpoint, because believe me, honestly, I really thought I was on death's doorstep in 2023, from November to May of 24. If I didn't make that turn, and my doctor said not many people could have done what I did, but if I did not turn that ship, I wouldn't be here. And that's God, really, because he put
Yeah.
resources and things in my path. And he gave me the courage, like you're talking about, to talk with people, to share with people. And
Hmm.
I'm very private. I didn't want to lean on anybody for any help either. But you come to a point where you go, well, it's a choice.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and you have people that care about you and love you that want to help you. You need to surrender to God and to the people around you to get you through, because that's what they're there for, and that's what He's there for. We're supposed to lean on Him, and the Bible says, we can. He will not give us more than we can bear, but that's if we're leaning on Him, not if we're trying to
Hmm.
tough it out ourselves. We're women, we're so used to doing that, just toughing it out. We don't have to tough it out. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is the major shift, to answer your other question, of what I'm doing now differently and recreating my
Hmm.
life. That's a major shift. I don't motivate myself with fear, anxiety, and stress. I don't tough it out anymore. I lean on Him, I lean on God, and I ask for His wisdom and discernment in almost every area, when I'm being mindful, because it's a whole different life now, and it's so much
Yeah.
easier than it used to be. It's so much less stress. It is almost, and believe me, I got a lot on my plate, a lot of goals and everything. I'm working on multiple projects right now,
Yeah.
but he has led me to a place where I'm now studying functional medicine because yeah, I can help so many people, and it's I'm very passionate about it, and that is meaningful work for me. So
Yeah.
you don't know what's on the other side, but you have
Yeah.
to keep praying for guidance and keep an open mind and keep moving forward, not under stress, not driving forward, but just being receptive and trying to do it with as much peace as possible. That's the best. That's the best I could say.
Wow. I have a question for any of you ladies. And this is a real um when it came down to you as a woman, and when if you I went through radiation, so I didn't have any effect with my hair. But with you all, did you have how did it how did you feel when you began, like how did you feel as a woman when you started beginning to lose your hair? Like how did you feel about your image? Were you sad about it? um and if you were, what allowed you to come up out of that sadness, that feeling? What allowed you to begin to make yourself feel pretty again, feel beautiful? Lisa, you can start, Lisa, if you want.
Okay, yes. For me, when I first started losing my hair, like I was just like, I talked to Rick. I was at the point like, you know what? Let's just we gonna talk about. We're gonna get rid of it already because it was falling out like in chunks. Like it just didn't all just come out. So I said, okay, here we go. This it was real because I
Mm-hmm.
had the chemo
Yeah.
and I had the radiation and the surgeries. So we decided we were just going to cut it off. And I'm telling you, when I cut all my hair off, I wore my hair bald, free and open. We
Oh, that's
we were
good.
not trying we were not trying to hide the fact of the cancer. Um, I wanted to feel free and open. I wanted people to talk to me. Some people thought I might have had alopecia or something,
Hmm.
because my hair was off. And when I told them, and they were, complimenting me with my bald head, I just embraced it. And my husband thought that I looked very attractive um, with my hair off, so that helped. Sure enough, did.
She was fine, huh, Ray?
That
Would,
helped. That
would you
helped.
say, Ray?
No, no, I was saying she showing up did look gorgeous, but something that you touched on earlier, that when he talked about being open
Yeah.
and removing the fear, that the enemy, that thing that's versus us, it lives in secrecy.
Yeah.
So in secrecy, we're bound most times. So when Lisa came to me saying that she wanted to be forthright, and that's typically not her nature, I knew that she was something that activated in her. I hadn't thought about it prior to that because I was just willing to do whatever she wanted me to do.
Because I wanted to live, and
Yeah.
I wanted to continue to live, and I wanted to be here for my family, and I wanted to trust God and trust the process, and know that eventually we're going to come to the other side. We're going
Yeah.
to come to the other side, and that part about the village is unmatched because my husband, every surgery that I had, he literally lived at the hospital with me. Whenever I was in the
Mm.
hospital, he stayed. So of course we had, small children at the house. Our grandson, um, his parents would stay over and they would manage our children while he would be able to stay with me. Um, my mom would make meals, bring meals over. I
Hmm.
even had my job they were so incredibly supportive. Like they constant cards, meal cards for I don't know how long for meals and crocheting blankets and breast
That's
cancer
important.
blankets. I mean,
Yeah.
they all rallied. They
Yeah.
all rallied, and that is so important to the recovery. And I'm from old school. I'm I don't I'm like I have the mindset and attitude. This is not going to beat me. I'm
Yeah.
I'm going to beat it. I'm going to be strong, and with my husband by my side and my family, it's going to happen. So, um, cutting all my hair off, but one thing I want to say about that hair, they always just talk about your hair falling off. You lose hair everywhere,
Yeah.
like
All the
your
time.
whole body. Like nobody talks about that. Like like you look like a baby all over again. Like hair loss. And nobody
Yeah.
talks about that. It's like, oh, your hair falling out. What you say is trending? Oh, he said it was trending.
Oh my gosh, Tracy or Lynn, did y'all want to respond to that question or?
I think I was more upset with my hair that was coming out in clumps until my husband chopped it all off.
Mhm.
And once it start growing back, see my husband, you already know me, he's a comedian.
Yes.
So once it start growing back, he said, your hair look like a baby chick. You know how long little baby chick's hair is? The little
Yeah.
fuzz? He
Yes.
said, your hair look like a baby chick. And his humor got me through a lot.
That's beautiful. That's
Because
beautiful.
he's a very, you know, he's very humorous.
Yes,
And
as a matter of fact, Ray, her husband Rick is just like you. Like he's there for her every step of the way. As a matter of fact, we were
yes, he
talking the
is.
other day, and Tracy be trying to sneak and cook. He don't even want her cooking, you know. And this is after 22 years. So, and that's just amazing. That's just amazing to me.
See, that's the thing. I call myself the lazy wife now because of him.
And it,
Because when I
yeah,
got sick, I had to sneak to clean up. I had to sneak whatever I had to do. I had to sneak because he wasn't allowing me to do anything. And I thank God because him and my daughter are my heroes, my caregivers. I was
hmm
so blessed to have them. My daughter, she would take me for my chemo treatments. We would go for walks, and she would cook my breakfast. And then him working like 12 hours a day or whatever, he would come home and cook dinner
yeah,
for me. He took
yeah,
really good care of me. He cleaned
and
for me.
that's
He
beautiful.
still does all this stuff now. Like I
Yeah,
said, he think I'm going to break, I think. But
that's a good
I
thing,
call myself the lazy wife because he just does. He's an amazing man. He
and that's
really is.
beautiful.
And I had a lot of support from my mother, grandmother, my father, and my
Hmm
children, and just everybody. And even once they found out that I had cancer, they called a family meeting where my father prayed, and we gathered around in a circle, and he prayed, and he spoke life into me. He said, "This
Thank you,
sickness
God.
is not unto death." He
Yeah.
literally spoke those
Amen.
words. So
Amen.
I thank
Amen.
God for I thank God for everybody
Yeah.
because like my surroundings, you got to surround yourself with
Right
positive
there. Positivity.
people.
Yes. Yes.
And
You have to.
you gotta even you gotta stay prayerful. You
Hmm
gotta affirm and
Yeah.
live.
And live. And
You
live.
pray, affirm, and you live.
Yeah.
And you don't have to, even though you know you're going through, because I know a lot of times when people uh are diagnosed with things, or especially in the church world, I'm
hmm
not claiming this. It's not a matter of not claiming it. If you got it, you got it. But then you lean on God
Yeah. That's
for
good.
the
Yeah.
healing.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I leaned on God for the healing. I made up in my mind I was going to trust God no matter what.
Yeah.
Even right now, I'm going through something because I went to the doctor the other week and my blood test, I had some abnormal blood tests. And right now, I'm waiting for results for a bone scan because he's suspecting cancer. So
But we
even
believe
now,
in
I'm
God.
trusting
We
God.
believe in God.
That's what
Yes.
you got to do. You all
Absolutely.
through my 22 plus years, I stand on God. I stand on His
Amen.
word. Like whose
Yeah.
report will you believe? Okay,
Yeah.
the doctor got
Amen.
their reports. They got their reports, but whose report will you believe?
Yeah.
We have the great physician.
Yeah.
He's a
Amen.
healer.
Oh, you get
He's
the
a
preachers.
healer.
The preachers gonna come out. You, I hear the preacher.
I'm trying to.
That preacher. You know, you can't put a preacher on here. I got. But Rick, I want to ask you a question. Because we've been talking about advocacy. One thing you did that you shared with us is the importance of talking with every doctor. And what you and Lisa share with us, you were on it. You were on it, Rick. So can you share with us um, some of that, what you did when it came down to advocating for Lisa?
Yeah, but you know what? Again, I must say, it happened that the relationships were developed and nurtured. And a lot of times in the midst of unforeseen, what appears to be chaos, is the order of God. Because initially, it was just me seeing her just struggling with certain things in regards to what she needed. It seemed as if everything that they could come with to say that she needed another person, if it was up in the air as to whether or not she would need this, we could almost 100% guarantee that she was going to need it. And we began to feel like maybe she was they were addressing her, dealing with her as if she were a property as opposed to a person. And I spoke to
Wow.
the doctors about that, saying that, this is not a piece of real estate where you want to make sure that your electrician makes money, or your plumber,
Right.
or this individual. This is my wife, and I would like for you to deal with her from that place. And he wasn't. I was wrong, because she needed the services but we had to hurdle that. It almost came to a place of fisticuff. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it actually did. Like, and I think that needed to happen for my husband and the doctors to have that relationship, because he just said, "Listen,
And that was my
I
wife.
want my wife. I want my wife. I want my wife to live,
Mm.
and I just want you to be straight up. Tell me if this was your wife
Right.
or your daughter,
Wow.
what would
Yeah.
you want to happen?" And from that place, that's when the relationship was established. It shifted. It was totally different. It
And he
was
had to let
it
go
was
of his wife.
totally different. And my husband and my surgical oncologist are very good friends to this day. They talk and
Wow.
everything. We've even had lunch with him. So it had to happen. And you gotta make sure the team is right for you. Like,
Yeah.
you can't worry about hurting somebody's feelings. If you say you want to get a second opinion, or this isn't right, you think you want to discuss it with somebody else, because it's about your life. So you can't worry about a doctor being in his feelings, because you're not trusting him, because he's a human being just like anybody else. So we got to a place where we had an absolute solid team that we can trust, and that we believed in. And actually, um, I'm glad he didn't show up to my first appointment when I was meeting the doctors, because it wouldn't have happened. I was with my mom. My mom was with me, and it's funny, real quick. I'm grown, I'm married, I have children, but at the end of the day, I'm my mom's child. That like
Mm-hmm.
really devastated my mom, to know that her oldest child was battling this disease, and it was nothing she could do. Because
Yeah.
a mother, that's their job, to try to protect their children. And she could not protect me from this. And so she just wanted to just, surround herself in me and be there for me. And her and my husband had to come to an understanding, because that's my mom. Like, he doesn't want anybody to feel
Yeah.
bad and
He was
sad.
trying to
He
lock her out. Was he trying
was
to lock
trying
her out?
he was
Oh, can I
almost
tell you something?
trying to put her out the circle, but he knew it was not going to work out too well in his favor if he put my mother outside the circle. But yes, but yeah, make sure your team is solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was very skeptical about doctors and what he felt from his history with dealing with doctors and other loved ones he had. He was very skeptical. So I'm glad he didn't show up to the first visit. So he came the next visit. So after that, I told him I was assured these were my people. But then he dug in deeper with them
Mm-hmm.
about what he was looking for to happen, and then he felt like that was our team. That was going to be our team.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Now we have a few minutes left, and what I want to do is, each one of us went through our challenges, and each one of us were provided different things to help maybe with our scars or um different things that we can utilize, like deodorants and things like that. Um, and this is for some people who just don't know. And if you each can list something that probably can help someone with their skin care during that time, or you know what I'm saying? Because like Leah, you gave me some wonderful items. You recommended some wonderful items. My doctor gave me items, but there might be some people out there that just they need something, some item to help them during this time while they're going through cancer. So quickly, if you want to list some things, Leah, we can start with you.
Um, I'm going to tell you the best thing you can do for yourself is really, really hydrate. Drink as much water as you can because you've got to get those toxins out of your system. And your body is going to try to heal itself. But if
Mm-hmm.
the more you can hydrate, the better off you're going to be, short term and long term. And secondly, sleep is really, really important. So,
Yeah.
and if you've got neuropathy, I have neuropathy in my legs and feet, and
Yeah.
there were so once you and I talked to my doctor and said, look, I can't even sleep. How am I supposed to heal if I can't sleep? So we worked that out. But those two are critically important, and I just can't emphasize it enough because you give your body a fighting chance.
Yeah.
And then there are a lot of skin creams and things like that are available, but you make the decisions for what you need, and just get those things that will serve you during that time period to make yourself as comfortable and um, give yourself the best odds of getting through as easily as you
Mm-hmm.
can. You're on a rough road. You're on a rough road, so just be kind to
Yeah.
yourself. Guess what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah.
Tracy.
We recommend um, coconut oil, food grade. When I had cancer, I put it on my hair on down to my feet. And when my hair started growing back, I was standing outside a beauty salon, and one of the stylists came outside. She said, "Oh, who did your hair? So beautiful and healthy." I said, "I did." And that's from using plain olive oil, the food
Okay.
grade.
Right.
I put it in my hair from my head to my toe. That's what I use. Like this natural oils.
Mm-hmm.
And just like Leah said, water, that's really good for you.
Yes.
And I was taking like fish oils, omega 3, 6 9s,
Mm-hmm.
right, go right to the health food store. Well, you can actually get it at the drugstore,
Right.
but stuff like that is really good for your skin and stuff. But I use all natural oils, like
Okay.
coconut oil and stuff like that, and it was
Okay.
really healthy for me. But
Okay.
too, I used it too because when I had the radiation, I ended up with second degree burns all
Okay.
through. And it was
Mm-hmm.
so painful. I didn't even want anything to touch it. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the treatment is worse than the disease itself
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So Lisa,
yeah.
do you have any recommendations?
I just use the same basic stuff I always use. I'm a Palmer's cocoa butter girl. I
Mm-hmm.
love them. And then they have the different oils. The Palmer's different oils. They'll have like the coconut oil, the shea butter, different things. So I I like using them. I also use aluminum free deodorant. I use
Mm-hmm.
Secret deodorant because once I had gotten a, breast cancer and it traveled up into my lymph nodes, I just they suggested to use aluminum free deodorant in that area. So I don't I don't use regular deodorant anymore. Um,
Okay.
Definitely keeping yourself hydrated is so super important. Also the same with the
Mm-hmm.
rest, just the rest, and just trying to not be so carrying so much weight and burden of any
Mm-hmm.
stress or anything. Like
Mm-hmm.
just try to eliminate a lot of that. Like I was the worry queen. I worry
Mm-hmm.
all the time about anything, like, oh, getting this bill in on time or getting this done or this. I
Okay.
just had to start letting that stuff go. That ain't paid, okay.
Yeah.
It ain't paid. Can't worry about that right now because guess what? My health is way more important than that, and
Yeah.
it'll get taken care of. So
So,
just
all right.
trying.
So we have a few minutes left, and what I want you all to do is give hope. For you, take 1 minute and give hope to someone who is currently going through cancer. Give them some hope, even if you want to encouraging words. So each one of you, 1 minute a piece. We'll start with Leah, then we'll do Tracy, and then Lisa and Ray. Before we close out, 1 minute.
Yep. And I'll be fast. I just want to say, if you have a faith, lean on your faith, develop your faith. Communicate with people who have faith. God
Yeah,
is my guide. He's my king.
yeah.
I could not be where I am now without my faith. And so I'm just going to encourage you to stretch in that area. If you're facing something like this is life threatening. Now's the time. If you're not going to lean on him now, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just really want to say, I didn't have a supportive spouse. And I just had a couple of friends. I had a good church group this time around of women that that I could, depend on just to pray for me. And but it's up to you. It's your decision how you see it and how you move through it. And it's not easy, but if you want to continue living and you want to have a meaningful life on the other side, then have faith that you can get through this process and then recreate what you want on the other side. And don't
Amen.
settle. Don't
Yeah,
settle in any area.
Tracy.
That's all I can say.
Thank you, Leah. Tracy.
Thank you. Okay, I just wanted to put a scripture out there, Isaiah 41
Okay.
and 10. Fear
Yeah.
thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am
Yeah.
thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of righteousness. And
Yes.
that God will do if you lean and depend on him.
Amen.
Trust him. Don't lean
Trust
to your
God.
own understanding.
Trust God.
You got to trust him with all your heart, mind, and soul, especially through things like this.
Yeah.
And that's what I had to learn to do. I'm not going
Hmm.
to say I was always like that, but I had to learn to do that. And
Yeah.
as I said earlier, you had to pray, you had to affirm, and you had to live. Take one
Hmm.
day at a time, just one day at a
And live.
time. And before I close out, I have written this poem years ago,
Okay,
an
you got 30
affirmation
seconds.
poem. 30 seconds. Cancer can't live here. Cancer, you can't live here in my body. Don't even
Wow.
think at all that you're going to stop me. You are nothing but an evil stranger sent by Satan who thought to put my life in danger. So you might as well leave because you're not welcome and was not invited. God has already let me know he has this battle and there's no need for me to fight it. So move on, move out, Cancer. You will not live here. You won't have my loved ones shedding tears. Go on back, from which you came, because this is the wrong address that you are trying to claim.
Shh.
That's my
Okay,
affirmation.
all right, you trying to make me cry? Did
No,
you trying to? All right, y'all
but
all
that's
know
what
I'm a
I wrote.
crier.
That was
Y'all
my
all know I'm a
affirmation.
crier. Lisa
Cancer
and Ray,
can't live here.
they live here.
I'm
Lisa
gonna
and
say
Ray.
something briefly and let Lisa elaborate. I say perspective is everything. The way you see a thing is almost everything. And how you see it in a way that you articulate it differently. That nothing is, although this is a situation you wouldn't wish on yourself, you wouldn't have chosen for yourself, nothing is happening to you. Things are always only happening for you. Because not some things, but all things work to the benefit of us who are aligned in that such. And also that fear is spiritual rubbish almost. It's no
Mm.
place for it in your space. I would say, at least in the history of the world, I don't remember hearing anyone say, I'm so glad I was scared when.
Mm. My gosh, Lee.
I'm, I'm gonna say just lean on the people around you.
Yeah.
Allow them to come in and to help you, because when you're fighting this, you only become stronger with the people that's around you.
Hmm.
They help motivate you. They help care for you. So always accept somebody's hand. I know that sometimes we get in our way, we get in our own way. And I've learned to stay out of the way and to let people help me, because sent these people in our lives for a reason. And we are to allow them to help us in our journey. And I just want to thank all of my family and friends and loved ones, supporting us through our journey. 5 years in, I thank
Hmm.
God every day, every year after ringing that
Yeah.
bell. I don't feel and look like what I've been through, and I thank God for that every
Hmm.
day, every day.
Well, I don't know what to say, and I'm filled up right now. Because like I said in the beginning, you all were a major part of my healing. You all poured into me. You all helped me and my family, and I appreciate y'all. There were so many others, but we couldn't have everybody on here tonight, or we would be on here all night and all day long. And I am grateful. I'm grateful for y'all sharing y'all stories with me. I am grateful for y'all praying for me and with me and upholding my family and even teaching me and guiding us, helping us through this as well. Ray, you don't know how important you were talking with Ed. You have no idea how that blessed us. So this was our first forum regarding breast cancer. We're going to have so many other forums dealing with different health issues and things like that. But I just felt in my heart that more people need to communicate with others what they went through, the process they went through when it came down to breast cancer. Don't be fearful of it. Don't be ashamed of it. Um, and remember that there are people who are willing and able and ready to help support you when you're going through. To my two dear friends that talk with me this week, don't give up. Trust in God. Know that there are resources out there for you. Know that there are people out there that love you and they will be there to hold you up and support you. And I also want to say that I continue to pray for those who have lost loved ones to breast cancer. I continue to pray for them, pray for their spirits, pray for their minds, because it can mess with your mind, So I continue to pray for those loved ones that have lost someone to breast cancer, and that God continues to uphold them and comfort them. So, y'all, again, thank you. And I appreciate you coming on with us tonight. Have a great
Thank you.
evening.
We love you. Thank you.
God
We
bless you
love you. We
all.
love you.
We love you. We love you, love you.
So I just want to thank everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for Real Talk Conversations with Cancer Survivors. I truly hope these stories have inspired you, encouraged you, and reminded you of the strength that lives in all of us. We created this space to make sure no one walks this journey alone. And that conversation doesn't end here. I'd like to personally invite you to join Good Day, Good Health Connect. It's our brand new online community where survivors and caregivers and health advocates and supporters, we all come together just to share, learn, and uplift one another. So inside the community, you'll find support groups, expert advice, wellness resources, and a safe place to continue these powerful conversations long after the live stream ends. So to join us, just visit gdghconnect.net and sign up. It's free. You don't got to pay nothing. It's free to sign up, and it's designed with you in mind. So, on behalf of the entire Good Day, Good Health team, thank you for being part of tonight's conversation. And yes, I'm still filled up. Until next time, stay strong, stay hopeful, stay helpful, and remember, you are a part of a community that cares, and we care for you. Have a wonderful evening.